Hi, welcome. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. And today we're interviewing a member of the West Bloomfield School District Board named Christy Forhan. How are you doing today?
I am great. I'm great. How are you today, Max?
Good. It's early. I'm enjoying I'm enjoying caffeine.
Well, I have mine as well.
What what kind is it?
Mine is a blend between a Seattle's Best and something from Aldi that I found was too bitter, so I have to mix them.
Ooh, I went Italian roast.
Okay. Okay, good. So if you start speaking in Italian, we'll understand why.
What is your schedule like?
Well, today I am gonna come over to the middle school actually, and but not till 9 o'clock and talk costumes with the folks who are going to be working on the spring musical. So I have
Oh,
plenty of time to chat with you right now.
um, have you been in the middle school before?
Oh, I've been in the middle school a few times. It is spectacular. Yeah.
Favorite part of the building?
Well, I'm biased because a lot of my volunteer work is with the theater and the costuming department, and I was fortunate enough to be able to help set up the theater storage spaces last summer before the building opened. So I'm very partial to the costume workshop and the props area and some of those spaces that I got a chance to help design. But the whole building is amazing. I mean, the ice center is spectacular.
Learning.
Stairs. Well, how about you? I mean, it's your building. How do you like it?
I like it all because I don't think there's just one spot I can favor
Yeah, yeah,
because they're all great parts of the building.
yeah. It really is a special place. The auditoria is really cool. I love the functionality of it. The colors, the bright light, the amount of windows. It's awesome. It's really a nice place.
Do you have anxiety while or before you are making a decision?
Anxiety,
Yes.
not if I've done my homework. Um, I am an analytical person and I like to have a lot of information. I'm not much of a risk taker, so I like to have information that helps me feel secure in whatever decision I have to make. So as long as I've done my homework and I have information that makes me feel like this is the best decision you know, that I can make or we can make as a group if it's a board decision, then no, generally I don't because I feel like I could defend my position.
What is the easiest thing to make a decision on?
As a school board member,
Yes.
adjourn. Oh, well, I'll tell you, it is actually kind of it's a little bit of a silly answer, but I'm gonna go this way since you specifically said the easiest. Every monthly board business meeting includes a section of our agenda called the consent agenda, and most people just kind of blow past it because it's a series of things that we vote on in one vote. Usually at the end of the meeting. It's things like approving the minutes for our past meetings or approving standard business function transactions, and we just do it as one big vote. But I enjoy looking at the details behind the consent agenda, even though we don't dig through it in the public meeting. That the information is available for us as board members. And one of the things that's included in there are a list of our new hires, because that is part of what the board approves. And even though it's an easy thing to do because it's just one vote to approve all the items in the consent agenda, I really like seeing who our new staff members are and where they're being hired at, what positions, and just so that I can kind of, if I run into them, I know they're, can kind of welcome them to the district. So that's probably one of the easiest things we do because it's just a one vote and it approves a whole bunch of stuff.
Alrighty, what is the hardest thing to make a decision on?
Oh, goodness. Well, we make a lot of important decisions as a school district. Some of them require a lot of complexity, and I'm not sure that if somebody just tunes in to a school board meeting one time, especially our business meeting. So there's a difference. We have a monthly business meeting, which is very formal, and we sit in the eye center at the high school behind the green cloth, and it's on camera and it's projected out into the community. Those business meetings are pretty formal, but we also have study sessions that are also open. I mean, all of our meetings are open to the public, but the study sessions are smaller gatherings. They're not put on television. So if you want to watch a study session, you come to the meeting to be part of that. And I think when you ask about the hardest decisions, it's usually the ones that we really have to dig into a lot of data or have a lot of discussion. And what people won't necessarily see that on the formal business meeting, so they might not look like complicated discussions or decisions, but most of that real back and forth and questioning of our administrators or of our fellow board members, that happens at a study session. So I can't pick out one particular type of decision, but anything where we really get into the details and really want to make sure that we're doing the absolute best for our students and staff, those are the hardest ones, only because they warrant that much discussion, and that's usually taking place at a study session.
What is your favorite thing to make a decision on?
Well, we get to do nice honoring of people at a school board meeting, and that is really, I mean, that I got this past week, I got to read the resolution for a STAR certificate for Angela Boyer, who is a a building sub at the middle school. And that's a really nice honor to be able to highlight the contributions of different people and students within. In fact, I think you were honored that way not too long ago.
Yes.
For your podcast. So those are the really nice, fun, rewarding things that we get to do as a school board, because we get to bring special members of our school community forward and honor them publicly. And that's probably the best part.
She is an amazing sub and a good person to know, and you will never regret meeting her. If you have met her or is that your first time, she is amazing.
Well, that's great. I had a chance to chat with her a little bit before the meeting, and she's got a great background, having taught middle school and willingly coming back in and subbing as a middle school person. And she just has such a calm attitude about her that I was really pleased I got a chance to meet her.
She's always positive. I don't think I've ever seen her not happy.
Oh, that's great.
She's always willing to be there, always willing to help anyone in need.
Well, then I'm glad that we got a chance to honor her publicly.
Yes, she deserves it. What is your least favorite thing?
Just to be about. Well, there really isn't anything. I went into this willingly because I have applied to fill a vacancy. And so I really can't say there's anything I don't like about being on the school board. It's an honor to serve at that level. I've done a lot of volunteering over the years in the school district at all different levels, but school board service is a whole different classification, because we are setting policy and sort of the strategic vision for the district. So I'm really honored to be part of that. And I don't think I would say there's anything that I would say I don't like about it, because I did it on purpose. I did it willingly, and it's really turned out to be a good experience.
Who is your favorite person to work with?
Oh gosh, I can pretty much work with anybody. On our school board, there's a couple members that I've known prior to when I joined the school board, from other work I've done within the district. And it's always nice to work with your friends because you know them personally, but that doesn't mean we always agree. And school board is, there's 7 of us, but we work as a committee. Decisions are made as a group. We don't individually have our own meetings or make our own decisions and come and work individually on things. We are a board of 7, so decisions are made and presented as a group of 7. So I can pretty much work with anybody, especially when we share the values of trying to do what's right for our students. So yeah, I'm okay with everybody on the board, and working with really in any committee work. Yeah, I can generally get along with most people. I hope they'd say that about me.
Who are the people that you worked with prior to school board?
Well, there's 7 members on the board, and I was on a committee going way back. Oh gosh, over 15 years with Julie Beatty. She's currently our secretary. We were working on a district, I don't know, a strategic planning committee or something a million years ago when she had just moved into the district. Dr. Hirsch, I've known him many, many years. He's, orthodontist to my kids, as many other people. And Mrs. Brickman, Stacy Brickman, she and I also go way back. We were both PTO moms at our respective elementary schools. Her kids were South End kids. My kids were North End kids. And Stacy had done some fundraising that I wanted to try to replicate at our school. So I got to meet her, and we've been good friends forever, like 15, 20 years. So most, and then I also know I had not done any volunteer work with Mr. Ferguson, Mrs. Finkelstein, or Mrs. Evans, but I've gotten to know them the time that I've been on the board.
I just had an interview with most of them.
Well, that's what I had understood. Yeah, you've been busy. That's pretty
Yes.
cool what you're doing, really. Good for you.
Thank you. This is my 20th interview in 6 months.
Oh my goodness, Max, that's really, not too many kids would be that ambitious. Good for you.
Thank you. The only ones that I haven't gotten to yet is Carol Finkelstein, Elizabeth Bain. Dr. Hirsch has not replied yet, and then the new oncoming people.
Well, you've got your list in
Holdsworth
front of you.
And Ashley Davis are still coming, but I'm going to the orthodontist, so I figured why not talk to his calendar management.
There you go. You can just take your camera with you, and I don't know if you can interview while you got your mouth open. That's kind of hard to ask questions with your mouth open, but
yeah, but just talk to the calendar people and try and get it booked.
Yeah, I'm sure Dr. Hirsch will be happy to talk with you when the schedules align.
Yes. What is it like to be on the board?
Well, it's a time commitment. We do have, again, a lot of things the public doesn't necessarily get to see, because really most of our, if people are paying attention to school board meetings at all, they probably just see our monthly meetings. But every week we receive a packet. It's all digital, but we always still refer to it as a packet of information, background information for the agenda for the week, or for the agenda, there might be documents that would be more long-term for us to review. So we have a lot of homework to do between Thursday and Monday, a lot of reading. If we see something we want to follow up on and ask questions of, we have an opportunity to do that before the Monday meeting. So that's part of the preparation. And then during the week or in between our meetings, if we have additional questions, or if we have a couple of committees. We don't do a ton of work by subcommittee, but if we have a finance committee meeting, or I know there's a policy committee, some of those subcommittees would have may gather from time to time and do their subcommittee work, so then bring it to the full board at a standard business meeting.
What is your career history?
My career history. Well, I am a Buckeye. My degree is from The Ohio State University in Industrial and Systems Engineering. And I worked in industry as a consultant for a firm that's now known as Accenture. Back in the day, it was Anderson Consulting. But anyway, I did business information systems consulting for many years, and then became a full-time mom when I started having kids with my husband, and we have 3 adult children. So I switched my attention to volunteering primarily in the schools, but also some other community organizations. And so I've been, if you can be a professional volunteer, I guess that's kind of what I've been for the last 25 years or so. And now I do a lot of what takes my time a couple times a year is, I mentioned it earlier, is doing the costume design now at the high school. So those are big projects that I really look forward to with the 2 shows that the high school does. And in between, I have other kinds of volunteer work that I do.
Do you know Mr. Baker by a chance? Mr.
Baker. I don't know Mr. Baker. What is his connection?
Middle school math teacher.
Middle school math. No, I haven't crossed paths with Mr. Baker yet.
He's also an Ohio State fan.
Oh, all right. Go Bucks. Yeah, there's not many of us. My 3 kids all went to Michigan, so I am completely outnumbered in my household.
But now, do they like Ohio State when they're watching sports, or do they fully go?
No. Oh, no. It is a very intense rivalry. And I honestly, I am a Buckeye through and through, grew up in Ohio State University, the whole bit. But I have to say, when it comes to a rivalry, sometimes household harmony is more important than the win for me.
It was an intense game that they played.
Yeah, it's always an exciting matchup when the Buckeyes and the Wolverines pair up.
Was some of your family at the game, like in person at the big house?
No, not at this particular game. We were watching it from home.
All right. What is your favorite place to work at in your career history? Or you can go in order of your favorite to least favorite.
Oh, well, back in my professional days, we did consulting work. So I worked in different client environments, and that was always fun because you get to work in a new environment, get to know new people, and be there to help solve whatever problem they've engaged you to do. Since then, I guess I'll go with my most recent, most current, because I've been fortunate to kind of hone in on the things that I enjoy most. And for me personally, I love being in the costume workshop, the design studio at the high school. It's another space that I had a chance to help set up 2 summers ago, and we have a wonderful workspace. We have sewing machines and costume forms and lots of inventory and fabric and just it's a very creative environment. And I think it's probably one of my favorite places to be because we're set up specifically for costume design and fitting, and it's right next to the theater. So we're right there with the actors. And that is really, I think, I say it's my happy place. So I guess that would be it right now.
So you're very close with the theater teacher at the high school?
Yes, that would be Mrs. Stevens.
She was
Yep.
my English teacher in 6th grade.
Oh, all right. Well, then, yes, she's got a couple different hats that she wears. And when she moved I was working with her and her predecessor in the theater program at Orchard Lake Middle School. And when she had the opportunity to move to the high school to teach theater and English, she asked if I would come along and sort of coordinate the costume department. So I was honored for that because it's something I really, really enjoy doing. And we get to work more closely with the high school students. They're actually students who participate in the costume design process, which is a difference from the middle school. The middle school students don't really have the time to work on the costume program since the theater program is part of their day-to-day class. But at the high school, it's an after-school activity. So high school students choose to work on the backstage stuff, including costumes. So it's been really fun for me.
So I know your term is almost over, but
Yeah.
while you're still there, what do you have in plans to make West Bloomfield School District better?
Well, I don't know that I can, let's see, what do we got? 15 days to the end of the month. That was when my official school board term will expire. But I will say, and I've told this to my school board colleagues, I'm just kind of moving from one side of the table to the other side as an audience member and a member of the community. And my hope, one of the things that the school board has recently voted on is approved moving forward with a very important bond issue. And so we have a lot of work to do to educate the community on the benefits of that bond issue for a May election. And I hope to have a chance to work on that to help bring that successfully to the community so that we can see all the benefits and make an informed decision and have a chance for people to really ask questions and know if that were to pass, what would that mean for West Bloomfield School District. So I'll probably be having an opportunity to work on that aspect of the district.
What have you done in your 6 years to better West Bloomfield schools?
Well, individually as a board member, we don't, I can't say there's a thing an individual board member does because that's not really how the board works. But I would say that most recent vote to move forward with putting a bond issue in front of the community, I think that was a very important step that we took that is a kind of a really point in time for the district to have a major capital campaign. So I'm hoping the community will recognize how much value will be in that without an increase in local taxation. I've also been fortunate to be part of the recent hiring of our new superintendent, Dr. Danya Bazzi. And that really is, when it comes to board service, hiring a superintendent doesn't happen often. thankfully, but it's also probably one of the most important thing that a school board does. The superintendent technically works for the school board. The superintendent is therefore our only employee as a school board. And it's such an important decision because you're setting the strategic direction of the school board, or excuse me, of the school district, and selecting their lead, the leader, the actual professional educator who's going to lead the district. So that was a super big honor to be part of the interview process. And I'm really, we are very fortunate to have Dr. Bazzi as our superintendent, and I've been super impressed with her, and really excited to see what she does for us in the years to come.
You had a busy summer.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Alrighty, what is your education?
Yep, I have a bachelor's of science in industrial and systems engineering.
What year did you end up graduating in?
I graduated in 1983, so that probably seems like ages ago, but that's when it was.
What is your favorite part about the costume designing stuff?
Well, there's a lot of things about it. First of all, it's incredibly creative. I'm a creative person, and I like the creative process. I like the challenge of taking an existing costume or an existing piece of clothing and maybe a couple of garments and combining them to make a special costume. I like working with students, the actors, to help them bring their characters to life and enhance their performance so that they can focus on their lines and their delivery and not be and be enhanced by their costume, as opposed to being distracted by something that doesn't fit very well or something that doesn't make them feel super confident. So I like working with the students. I really love the challenge. I love the deadline, because a deadline forces you to make decisions and to be creative. Sometimes we have a vision that is a little ambitious, and so we have to adjust as the deadline comes. I like that challenge. And now that I've been working at the high school, I really, really like having students as part of the costume team. That was a new thing for me. I had to kind of figure out, and I'm still figuring it out, what's the best way to make it a good experience so that the kids who are on our costume team, they don't necessarily come with, say, sewing skills, but how can we teach them some sewing skills, design skills, and help them feel like they're contributing to the whole process and also learning something. So that's been a lot of fun for me. And it's also kept me really connected to students, which sometimes as a school board member, well, I won't say as a school board member, but I also say as a more experienced volunteer, or an older member of the community, you get kind of far away from what's going on in the schools. My kids are in their 20s and early 30s, so it's been a long time since I've had a student in the building. So by volunteering at the high school, I get a chance to really stay connected to what's going on and get to know some of the students at that level. And it's been a great experience. And I really, our district, that's one of the things I love about West Bloomfield, and this has been true since my kids were little. We've always been very supportive of the arts, whether it be, choral music or instrumental music, or the performing arts or the visual arts. I mean, that is really a strength of our school district. So now that I have a chance to be really hands-on with the theater department, I'm really grateful that our district has always, and for that matter, our school board has always been very supportive and given us resources to help our kids have those great experiences as performers and artists.
Alrighty, that was the last question.
Okay.
So thank you for joining. Hope you
My
have a
pleasure.
great day. And I did let the middle school staff know you're coming.
Oh, okay. All right, great, Max. Well, you have a great day, and thank you for this opportunity. And
You're
all the best
welcome.
to you in your
Thanks for joining.
future endeavors.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.